Number 5. After 9/11, the Defense Department wanted to poison Afghanistan's food supply. One of the strangest things the media do is to bury huge revelations deep in the bowels of a larger story. A perfect example occurs in 10 Days in September, an epic 8-day series that ran in the Washington Post. In Part 6, Bob Woodward and Dan Balls are recounting the Bush administration's activities on September 17, 2001, 6 days after the 9/11 attacks. Bush and National Security Advisor Condoleezza Rice have headed to the Pentagon to be briefed on action against Afghanistan by a 2-star general from the Special Operation Command. Rice and Frank Miller, the senior NSC staffer for defense, went with the president to the Pentagon. Before the briefing, Miller reviewed the classified slide presentation prepared for Bush and got a big surprise. One slide about special operations in Afghanistan said, "Thinking outside the box, poisoning food supply." Miller was shocked and showed it to Rice. "The United States doesn't know how to do this," Miller reminded her, "and we're not allowed." It would effectively be a chemical or biological attack, clearly banned by treaties that the United States had signed, including the 1972 Biological Weapons Convention. Rice took the slide to Rumsfeld. "This slide is not going to be shown to the President of the United States," she said. Rumsfeld agreed. "You're right," he said. Pentagon officials said later that their own internal review had caught the offending slide and that it never would have been shown to the President or to Rumsfeld. Yeah. And I have a bridge in Brooklyn I'd like to sell you. That's from a nice little book called 50 Things You're Not Supposed to Know by Russ Kick from the disinfo.com. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Stench of Truth. I want to talk about a subject, but only briefly, to highlight a point, and that will be the focus of the discussion today. And that is the 9/11 Responders Healthcare Bill, which recently went down in defeat in Congress. I have a question to ask all of you. Are you fucking pissed off and mad because of this defeat of this bill? Chances are a lot of you who watch my videos are very angry and fucking mad that this bill did not pass. The anger that you feel is a good thing, but it's only potential. It's only potential. Just like every emotion that you feel in your life, it is only potential. That is natural emotion. I want to talk about our manufactured reality. And I'm not going to go so far as to say that everything's an illusion like some people will. It's enough to know that the story that is unfolding before your eyes is not the reality that it purports to be. The people in this country have been the subject of a magical, kabbalistic, technological working, a spell that has been conducted on the people and the nation itself, the United States and its people. They have been the subject of a magical working. And because technology has advanced to such a state that, like Arthur C. Clarke noted at one time, sufficiently advanced technology would appear to be magic, and that's what they're using. They're using it against us. It is a mind control bombardment. It is a systematic propaganda campaign, and it is a magical, technological, kabbalistic working against us. It's a spell that has been designed over decades to reduce the people in the United States to a sense of apathy. And you've seen it yourself. The apathy has been achieved. It was achieved years ago, and it has only mounted. What comes after apathy is usually despair, and that's where they want people to be, in a sense of despair, looking for hope, looking for change, Does that sound familiar to you? This has all been a scam and a sham that has forced and funneled the people in this country to accept the new Messiah of Barack Obama, otherwise known as Barry Soetoro, whom we know absolutely nothing about. This man is a total fucking ghost. And yet, he is elected in acclaim and practically deified by people in the media and roving gangs of young people. And this is because he exemplified something that was sorely missing in people. By design! This was set up. Only to have the great hope and change Messiah turn out to be a false Messiah. And any hope that was generated in the people that would follow this man is immediately crushed, and your despair now is twice as bad as it was before. Do you think that anything in life happens by just happenstance? Fuck no! There is also another route that this can take, and that is into a blasé acceptance and a sort of do-gooder attitude of, well, we'll get our chance sometime. Things will happen and it'll turn around. You know, a sort of optimistic unreality. And that too is manufactured. The anger is manufactured to some degree, and I'll explain to you by the example that I had at the beginning. And that is by the overt showing you of the so-called two-party system being a complete fucking sham shoved in your fucking face, where you have the Democrats deliberately putting a bill forward in such a manner that they knew it would not fucking pass, and then you had the typical fucking response, and that is that it did not fucking pass, even though it got a majority of votes, because of the sham dichotomy. And it is shoved in your face in this way to provoke a fucking reaction in you. Is it wrong to be mad? Is it wrong to be out of your fucking mind with anger at all of the fucking duplicitousness and the control and everything else that is being bombarded on you and everybody else? My answer to that is no, because anger is only potential. If you let anger sweep over your life and you act without using the very things that make us human, and that is intelligence, rationality, thought, and planning, then you are no better than an animal. And that's what they view you as. A fucking animal that is better off dead, because you're an animal that doesn't provide anything useful to them. All you do is use fucking resources that they want for themselves. So, apathy begets despair, ushering in a totally manufactured candidate of hope and change in Barack Obama, who's neither black nor white, who has no background, who's an American and he's not. It is an in-your-face sort of reaction to provoke that anger that will make you act in an animalistic way, that will make you act without thinking, that will cause you to do stupid things, because you are not using the higher functions that make us the most magnificent creature on this planet with the greatest potential. So, there has been talk about this global awakening being a threat to the powers that be and the elites who want to reduce the population and have their eugenic programs and force us into mass servitude, slavery, and serfdom while taking away every right that humans should have as a divine providence. But that is only potential as well, and it is being gamed. Is it enough just to have people tell you what the story is and what's really going on, giving you the true news? It's more important, I think, to understand the different motivations and the different forces that are at work on you, against you, and driving you, so that you can work around them. Use your anger to your benefit. Use your anger with your intelligence, with your rationality, with your thought, with your planning. Do not do stupid things. Do not just go off half-cocked. Imagine the world you want to achieve and work towards it in a way that uses your fucking intelligence and uses your brain. So, it reminds me of a point in Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, whenever the future human savior has to be chastised by a robot, an android, where John Connor is breaking down in despair. The Terminator has to shake him around and tell him, "You're right, you're a worthless piece of fucking shit." Well, not those exact words, but which caused Connor to become angry. And even the robot knew it in its fucking memory. And the Terminator said to him, "Good. Anger is much better than despair." It's a poor Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonation, but you get the idea. Anger is better than despair. Use it, but use it wisely. And realize that there are forces arrayed against you. And understand before you take an action whether or not that is something that is the product of your own rationality, your own intellect, and the intellect combined with your anger at what is being done to you and to this nation. Or is it a manufactured anger? A controlled anger, a manufactured construct in your own mind. Because make no mistake about it, everything that happens, happens for a reason. And we are being subtly and overtly controlled on many levels. Whether it be just a gentle push in a certain direction, or overt mind blasting with fucking energy waves. It happens. Most of everything you experience is subtle, yet powerful. You need to be able to differentiate between the two, but you also need to grasp a hold of your fucking anger and hold your fucking mad hatred in at what is being perpetrated against us. And make it a slave to your intelligence and your rationality. And harness that power to achieve the ends you desire through your own rational processes. Do not let it pull you away. That is my message to you. Thank you.